Good afternoon and welcome to the Back in Charge Blueprint Client Success Stories. And this time I'm joined by Mark Seaton. Now, Mark Seaton is, Mark, he's been through the program. He's now in the back end of it. He's done it, he's completed it, and he's graduated. And today what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be discussing his journey, like what made him reach out, why did he want to join the Back in Charge Blueprint, how he found it, how he overcame any hurdles that he had, and also, most importantly, what has he achieved from the program. So again, as always, if you are watching, please say hi in the comments. Let us know you are here. Okay. And also, if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask me or Mark whilst we're talking live, please do so. Or even if you're watching the replay, please just ask the questions in the comments and we will get back to you. So I'm going to hand you over to Mark. Mark, if you would just like to introduce yourself and, like where you are, what you do, and then, like also then just go into like what was life like before the Back in Charge Blueprint?
Yeah. Well, prior to joining Adam and Back in Charge Blueprint, I lost both my parents in fairly quick succession within 4 weeks of each other. So my life did change. And I piled weight on quite significantly as well. At my peak, I was getting very close to 12 stone, which, for somebody of small stature, I'm only 5'3", it was fairly significant. Obviously, I've had fairly different changes within my business career as well, in the fact, having taken so much time out to look after aged parents, it really did take a toll on my business career. I was very, very supported by my previous employer, who, I thank them a great deal for. But at the end of it, I didn't see myself being able to go forward with them, although they'd been so supportive. I'd lost my focus, and this is why I approached. I was looking through LinkedIn. I'm fairly active with LinkedIn, and it was a case of just trying to establish where was the best place for me to put my trust, my value into an individual or an organization that could help me, support me in terms of not just changing my weight, changing my attitude to life, changing my aspirations. As I came away from my previous company, I decided to set up my own organization, Mark On Point, which was supplying of survey equipment, which is hire and sales. That has been a tough market although I've been involved in the survey industry for the last 12 years, it's been a tough one for me to break into personally. Now, in terms of that, I was looking for that support, because obviously as an individual entrepreneur, you've got really nobody else but yourself to try and find that support from. And joining Adam on his blueprint, it really helped me move forward, give me satisfaction in what I had with my body. My body, when I was away on holiday in Aruba in March, looking back on the photographs, I'm thinking, Christ, somebody's got to do something about this. And I was significantly overweight. I've got an 18-month-old grandson, and I'm thinking, how can I enjoy playing with him? I couldn't even bend down and tie my shoelaces without being out of breath. So joining Adam and his program, I had some trepidation moving into it. I'm not going to deny that.
Of course, everyone does have a little bit of trepidation, right? It's like when we have that conversation. But let's go back though. Like there was lots of moving parts for you, wasn't there before?
100%.
Like with the care of your parents.
Yeah.
Like that. That's difficult. That's hard. It's a hard thing to go through. And
Probably
then
the hardest thing I've had to go through actually in my life was watching both parents deteriorate. My mother had Alzheimer's. She was blind, so she had some significant issues that we had to overcome. But watching my father deteriorate so quickly after she passed, you just wouldn't believe it was basically a broken heart. And yeah, that really, it made me think about where my life was going, how my life was going. And being introduced to Adam was my way forward. And certainly, if I look at what my initial challenge was to lose 2.5 stone. I've not quite achieved the 2.5 stone, but in some respects, I'm pleased I haven't achieved that 2.5 stone, because I probably would have got blown away in the wind last Saturday when we had Storm Amy here in the UK. I am a lightweight now.
that's it.
I literally have lost just over 2 stone, and all credit to what Adam has really focused me to do, which is exercise, get plenty of fluid. That's water in me. I mean, I've been drinking about 3,750 millilitres of water a day, which was very unheard of prior to. I was probably drinking 1.5 litres, maybe 2 litres, absolute tops. But
that's it. That's where you were at before, though, wasn't it? That's it. And that's it. You've got all of these moving things, like you say, the parents, the deterioration of your father, like you say, it's the hardest thing, plus the business that that you left, but then you've started up this. You've got those stresses. Then you've got that you're struggling to even do your shoelaces up, and then you've got the photos on holiday. Yeah. And you're not drinking water. You got all of these things going on.
Absolutely.
So you had all of this. So, but going back then, like, how was all of those things? How were they affecting you and those around you personally?
I was getting many comments that, right, you ought to lose 1 pound or 2, and there was nobody more than me that respected I needed to lose that 1 pound or 2. In the past, trying to lose weight was a case of, right, let's cut out the beer, let's cut out the wine, let's not have a burger, let's have a salad. And yeah, it really didn't work for me. And I think that's probably because the one thing that Adam really focuses you to do is be disciplined about what you're going to put in your body. Look at the calories, look at the protein amount, look at the amount of water that you consume, because these are so important. And to me, yeah, it's Adam's ability to put that discipline across that has enabled me to get to where I am today. It's been a very positive 12 weeks for me. I mean, the one thing I will say, Adam, the cold shower bit, unfortunately, I was educated at I was educated at private school where a cold shower was the start of the day, and it took me back to that, and it was a bit uncomfortable to start with, but now I've got into it. And
exactly,
it does work. It does focus the mind. No two ways about it.
It does. So then, look, we then spoke. We had a very open conversation about where you're at and all of that. We did that. Then, when we were talking, what did you? Well, first of all, did you have any apprehensions about joining the program?
Yes, because it was a remote program. You and I have not physically touched hands and shaken hands. So as a remote program, you're all in the back of your mind. You've always got this trepidation: is it going to do what it says it does on the tin? And I can 100% say yes, it does. You've got to be disciplined to follow it, but if you're disciplined to follow it, it will work. No two ways about it. This is the one program that I have attended. I'm 60 years old now, so I've attended many training programs, and I'm not talking about the health type of training programs, but a lot of training programs. This program is the one program I have got the most value out of, for me personally, because it's achieved what I wanted it to do, and that's allowed me to move forward with me, my new business, and literally enjoy my grandson growing up, feeling healthy, and knowing I can bend down, tie my shoelaces, get the exercise. I mean, Adam, I've been doing a lot more exercise, since starting this program. I go out for a casual walk every now and then. No, I've learned to do things very differently. All focused to you.
Thank you. So tell me though, what has been the difference? Like you say, it's remote. So like that was a little bit of trepidation. Okay, there was a bit of apprehension that you had, and you said that this is very different to others that you've done before.
Well, everything else I've done
What's
before.
The difference?
Everything else I've done before has been I've been physically in front of the person that I'm being trained by. This is the first time I've ever done any training online.
Sorry, when we say training, right? When we say training, I'm not watching you do star jumps or push-ups.
No, you're not. But you're not. But it's that weekly coaching that we go through. It's the Monday phone calls. It's the Monday phone calls. Because of my circumstances, I couldn't do the Monday phone calls, but the Wednesday phone calls, always wanted to be involved with them because they add so much value to. Well, they added value to the working week. But I always got something out of it though, because you're talking to other like-minded people who have the same objective in place. They want to lose weight. They want to have a better frame of mind. They want to be more positive. Wow, that's what that's what this program really does for you. And I am not going to deny. It was a program that, talking to somebody, down the airwaves, I didn't believe I could necessarily get that value out of it. And the value I've had to get out of it is being disciplined myself to do what Adam is advising to do. He doesn't hold a gun to your head at all, but he advises you to do various things. And it isn't all at once. It's a build-up over a 12-week period. I can't say anything negative about it, to be honest, because it has done what I wanted it to do, which was allow me to lose weight. I've lost weight in a spectacular way. I know other people within the program have done equally as well, and that's where it's important that you're not just seeing a one-sided thing. That's me talking about it personally, but I know other people have achieved the same thing, which means it isn't just me that's mentally taking it on board, others do as well. And as I say, it's having belief in yourself to be able to do it as well. And from my point of view, this program is one to be highly recommended. I don't know what else I need to be able to put forward, Adam, in that respect, because it's ticked every single box I wanted it to tick.
Perfect. Good. That's really, really good to hear, Mark. That's really, really good to hear. So come on in. So tell me, what have you achieved from the program?
What have I achieved from the program, other than losing the weight?
Other than losing weight, which we know you've lost.
And having to go out and get a new wardrobe. I'll send you the bill for the wardrobe, because that's the one bit I wasn't anticipating. That's worked. In terms of positivity, I mean, I set up my own business, and when I set it up in March, the construction industry was reevaluating where its costs were. So I got back into the survey construction industry. Really, it's a hard time. I'm not going to deny it. But because of the positivity that I've managed to gain from Adam's putting me where I wanted to be mentally and physically, has allowed me to now look at my business, reevaluate it. Yes, I'm changing the stance of my business. My business is going to be very much towards a training program that I did that I've been training for over the last 12 years. So that's prior to joining Adam's program. I don't think I would have had that ability to do it, because I've not been able to get to terms with who I was, where I was. Now I am. I know where I am now. I know what I want. I've got the drive to do it, and yeah, the life is, the rest of my life is going to be the oyster, because there's an awful lot to happen. Hopefully I'll keep in touch with Adam over the next few years. Providing I've still got years left in me. But healthy wise, I know I have got the health in me now. Up until 16 weeks ago, I probably wouldn't have done.
No.
Because I was struggling to tie my shoelaces. Which
can I just interject there? You said something that's very, very important, which a lot of guys they're not really aware of. Okay, like they know what they want. Okay, they have this vision of what they want their life to look like.
Yeah.
Okay, like vision, mission, whatever you want to call it, right? They have this vision. Okay, and they're doing the do, right? They're going out to work, and they're putting all their energy into work, but for them it's like their health is starting to take a back seat, a dive, right? Okay, but they're not looking at where they're actually at with it. Okay,
sorry to interject, but I didn't realise I wasn't exercising enough. And I'd go out for the odd walk, and it would be, I might do, at a weekend, I might get out there and do 6 or 7 miles. Now I don't class 6 or 7 miles as being proper exercise. I now look to get much more out of it. I do physically get a lot more exercise now, because I'm regimented to do it. And all credit to you. It's made me realise that I can't just think about just knocking the beer and the wine on the head, and not having a kebab or a burger or something, and eating properly, not snacking. And I'll be honest with you, within my own business, if I'm going out to see a client, I now have to be regimented to take a banana or an apple or a nectarine or something like that, as opposed to taking probably a Mars bar or a Twix, which I would have done prior to.
That's it. And wasn't it the Haribo in the car from the service station, if I'm correct, right? That is right, isn't it?
It was. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, when I go and see a client, I'll usually drop them a bag of Haribo or something off. But now it's the client that has the Haribo, not me.
Exactly.
And that's don't get me wrong, when I first started, I had cravings. Of course I did. But those cravings they've dissipated now. I do eat the healthy things. I'll eat the rice, the rice cakes, which have very little calories in them. But it's something just to nibble on. The apple, the banana, that's now my stock. Up until joining your program, I wouldn't touch milk. Now my breakfast is milk, raw egg.
Yeah,
it's nuts, it's strawberries, it's blueberries, it's whey. Yeah, in a liquidizer, wham, bang. That's my meal set up for. I'll make that somewhere about 6:15 in the morning. That'll see me through until probably about 1:30 in the afternoon. I'll then have something like a wrap, or which will usually have tuna or chicken in it. It'd be full of salad, celery, etc. And I am not missing what I used to eat before. No. Really, the bread side of it is, if I have bread once every other week, and it will only be probably one slice of wholemeal toast or something like that. That's it. I've cut that right out, which I can understand where my weight is dropping off now, because it's not being held in. So no, it's those ideas that you've put in my mind have stayed with me and will stay with me now. I know you and I had this conversation. A lot of people get to the end of the program and then they fall off the cliff. I know what falling off the cliff's going to do. It's right. Going to take me back to square one. I don't want to be there. So my desire, my discipline, and my passion are now there for me to be the healthy individual that I never want to be into the same place that I saw my father 12 months ago, where literally all he would do is sit in a chair all day long. And that was, that was very hard for me to watch because he was an active person. So I've now set it right in my mind. I'm not going back to old ways. Seeing a cream cake or something in the deli or whatever, that would have been me. Yeah, I'll have one of those.
Exactly.
And then you forget what it's going to do to you. And well, I mean, looking at the photographs that I had at the back in March, I felt disgusted about myself, and I never want to be there again. So it's all thanks to you, Adam.
That's it. But you're the one that's doing the work, all right? So that's where you need to be proud of yourself for taking action again, because me and Kerry, right?
Yeah.
We have hundreds of conversations every single month with guys that want to change.
Yeah, can believe it.
But then they stop. They stop themselves.
Yeah.
Whether it be remote or whether it be I don't know, right? They stop themselves from continuing. They've had this thought that they want to change. They know they want to change. They know that they need to change. Okay, they need to change.
The only way that anybody's ever going to need to change is be disciplined to do it. And you've put that discipline in my mind now. And that will follow me through for many, many years.
Good.
Seriously, those, call it a disincentive. Those photographs that I had of myself back in March, if I blew those up and put them on a wall, that would just say to me every time, look, you're not going back there. You're not going back there. And the whole idea is I'm going to be back in Aruba in March of next year. And I will take the same photographs, and I will tell you now, in fact, everybody I come across now hardly recognizes me because I've lost, as I say, over 2 stone in weight, which on somebody of my size, you notice 2 stone.
That's a lot. That's the thing. Like when
it really is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when you said, you said your weight and all of that. It's for someone like that was like a normal weight, but where you're shorter than a few people.
Absolutely,
it's a lot of you're overweight and you notice it. So,
I was overweight. I went in to see my doctor on Monday of this week, and in fairness, even she didn't recognise me.
There we go.
Because the last time I'd been in there, I was 12 stone and I was bulk, and she didn't recognise me. To the point she even said, do we need to do a health check on you? I said no. I did my own health check.
But this is the thing, though, isn't it? Is when people see people losing weight and getting healthy, they question it.
Oh yeah, they will 100%.
And this is a health professional questioning why are you getting healthy?
Well, my body mass index technically under the British Medical, it was 8.5 stone, and so I'm still a stone and a bit away from that. But if I was down at 8.5 stone, I seriously, that wind on Saturday, it would have blown me away. Because the wind was so strong. So I'm comfortable where I am now.
That's what we want.
I've got my health back. I've got my fitness back. Probably aged in the face a little bit, but that's a little bit of sun because we've the last month we've lost a lot of the sun that we were getting. You guys get that all the time.
Honestly, Mark, literally like 10 minutes ago, it was lashing down.
Was it?
It was absolutely It was lashing down. So yeah, I'm with you. We are losing the sun.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I do need I need the sun back on the skin, but I
Yeah,
mean,
that's it.
you know,
That's it. But that will come. That will come. That will
yeah,
come. So looking back, are you pleased you made the decision to get started?
100%. There is there is no doubts, there is no questions about that. It has been the program that has worked for me. You've supported me through it, and it is support because, as you say, you're remote. You can't hold a gun to my head. Um, you know,
It's communication, right?
it is. It's all about communication. You know, and it's two-way communication because you know you and I have had some. Probably fairly in-depth conversations that you know start thinking you start thinking, well, should I be telling this chap this?
No,
but
but it
it
helps.
works. Be honest.
But it helps because we, you know, like I say to other guys, it's like I need to know the full picture of what's going on.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because if we know the full picture, then we can then know, okay, well, why are you then doing that behavior and habit?
Yeah, it does work. This two-way conversation, being honest, because there's a lot of honesty that has to come out here. That, you know, because there will be people that will say, hey, it's like when you go and see your doctor in the past. You know, how much do you drink? Do you drink too much? And you always say, well, you know, I might have a couple of drinks, you know, and that couple of drinks isn't a couple of drinks. It's probably half a dozen drinks a night or whatever. You know, that's the bit that you've got to be honest about, because that's, you've got to have that line in the sand with which, you know, you're going to work towards. And if you're saying, you know, you drink a couple of drinks a night and you're actually drinking 6 a night, then, you know, what you're dealing with is, it's very hard. You know, the honesty came out of it, Adam. You know, and it has. You know, this program, being honest with it. You know, I've come to you when I've. Well, when we were talking about the calorie intake, you know, because I asked you if we could just boost the calories a little bit, because you know I was feeling tired because I just wasn't getting enough energy into my body because I was doing that much exercise.
So we took it up.
For me to get up and go. And so, you know, we had that conversation. You upped it a little bit. It had no adverse effect on me in terms of, you know, my weight. My weight still came off. So it has, it's worked. You know, that communication, which is you talking to us, you advising what you'd like us to do over the period of time. You know, have your game plan in place, have your goals set, and work towards them.
Nice.
It does work, really
Good.
does.
So, Mark, the final question: if someone's watching this and they're thinking about the Backing Charge Blueprint, they've seen the results from you and, you know, all the other guys that have come before you,
Yeah.
but they're still a little bit unsure whether it will work for them. Instead of just saying just do it, what would you say to that person?
Have belief. If you are disciplined enough yourself to be able to work with Adam, this program will 100% work for you. You have to have some of that self-discipline, though. You've got to have that reality check. That reality check for me, you know, was the overweight. In some respects, I was probably borderline depressed when I first joined you. You know, I've got other things going on in the back of my mind at the minute, which you know, I've got properties which you know, we need to you know, get cleared up and what have you. But in terms of, you know, where you're going, the whole thing about Adam's program is have belief in yourself that you can actually do it. 16 weeks ago, I did not believe that I could lose 2 stone in weight. The only reason I have lost 2 stone in weight is the support of Adam Alexander. He has been a massive support for me. Not just a massive support for me, a massive support for anybody that's in the program. Any questions, Adam's there to answer them. Is there anything else I can say about it? No, that is it. You just have to believe in the fact that you yourself, and working alongside Adam Alexander, you can and will lose weight. You will get fitter, and you will have a better, more positive attitude. It works. This program truly works. And I'm a living soul that can really back that up as well.
Okay, you're the proof, right? You're the proof, Mark.
100%.
So, thank you. Thank you. So again, Mark, thank you so much for coming on today. All right, I really do appreciate you taking the time out of your day off as well to come on.
Thank you.
And also for anyone that is interested in finding out more about the Back in Charge Blueprint, okay, please send myself or Kerry a message with the words breakdown, and we will send you a breakdown of the Back in Charge Blueprint, how it looks, and also how it could potentially look for you as well. And then you could be like Mark and all the other guys that have come through the Back in Charge Blueprint and getting the same results, you know, just same after same after same, right? That's how it is. So again, Mark, thank you so much for taking the time. Really, really do appreciate it. And
Adam, thank you truly for everything that you've done for me. I know you keep throwing it back at me. It's me that's done it, but without your focus and your steer, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And thank you. It's worked.
You're welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure having you in the program.
All right. Thank you so much.